going to split my screen. On this side, furthest from you guys, I'm going to open up my messaging. And then on the side closest to you guys, I'm going to open up the dashboard so you can see it nicely. And I'm also going to make it a little bit bigger for y'all. So here is the marketing dashboard. I made myself a copy. And I am going to move my copy. I'm moving my copy into my business dashboard. I actually have a big business dashboard that so I need to drop mine. Like you see now, it says marketing dashboard inside of my business dashboard. So I'm going to drop it over here in the marketing section. And for my people in the membership who already have a business dashboard from me, that's what I would do. All you have to do is, you know, duplicate the dashboard, the marketing dashboard into your Notion. It's going to drop it in your private section. And all you have to do is click and drag it into your business dashboard that I provided you guys. And it's going to just drop it in a random place on your business dashboard. And not like I just did, all I did was drag it from the random place, which is usually going to be at the bottom. I just dragged it into the marketing section, not on top of something, but just below it. And now it's there. So now I'll always have access. And then I want to make sure that this stuff doesn't mess up the original thing. So I'm going to check something real quick. Source. Okay. I should be okay, but I don't want to mess up the original dashboard. So bear with me because I don't want to jack something up. I just need to see my title real quick. I just want to see my title. Okay. I'm going to test something out real quick just to make sure I don't mess something up. Let me just do something called test. Y'all are going to laugh. I don't want my marketing dashboard to have my stuff. Okay. And if y'all haven't, if y'all are not getting a good view of this, this dashboard is really dope. I'm just making sure that, okay, that test didn't come in here, so that means I'm good. I just didn't want to mess something up for others if I start adding my stuff in. And I'm going to test one more thing just to be on the safe side. I just want to make sure that me making a duplicate isn't going to mess something up. So I'm going to go to the section that we're going to work on. This is the brand messaging section. If I open everything, which I'm about to now, you'll see all of the areas that I'm going to fill in right now. And like I said, I just want to test something. Test. And I'm going to go to the marketing dashboard just to make sure I'm not jacking nobody's stuff up. Okay, I'm safe. Okay, guys, so I can get started now. I just was kind of nervous that I made a duplicate. So inside the dashboard, let me just give you a quick little tour. The middle kind of tells you the different areas of marketing that you will be able to cover. So there's a content section. If you were to click this little caret, it tells you all the different things that are within: content planning, content management, social media management, ads. This is the part that I said, do not start with this complicated stuff because you are not ready to start managing content because you haven't even really dove into this resource or set this resource up for your benefit or your team's benefit. So I wouldn't start off in the sexy section like planning content. And I wouldn't even dive into my strategy just yet, with the exception of the buyer persona and target audience. But I'm not even going to start there yet. I'm going to show that to you guys in a minute. I actually have to redo mine. There's a section about analytics and data. Obviously, marketing people are very into data. So that's an important section, which you should not be diving in right now. Brand assets is where I'm going to be. This is everything for your brand guide, brand assets, brand messaging, social proof, media kit. That's an important section. Your goals section is very important, but not something I would dive into first. This has your annual goals, your growth goals. This is first, like your marketing account growth goals, and then all of your quarterly planning for your goals, and then project management. So weekly scorecard, that's your to-do list. That is a part of project management. SOPs and workflows is a part of project management. And separately, you can get to a different task list. Okay, so we're going to go to the brand assets section, which is all about brand messaging. And this is where I want to start. Let's see here. I tried it, sent to the YouTube channel. It's still sent to the YouTube channel. Let's see here. Somebody said that they couldn't get into the, let me go to mini chat real quick. Sorry for those of you who are like, girl, let me in this Zoom room. A bunch of people made it, so at least some people made it. But let me go to this thing. Let's see here. It should have sent you to Zoom if you sent it, because I see the Zoom link in there. It's going to say YouTube channel, but it really isn't. Okay, so let's get started. So here I have a place for my vision statement and then a mission statement. So I'm going to start with my vision. I'm grabbing mine and copying and pasting it in here from my document that has all of my brand messaging. You should have your brand messaging somewhere. You should have done this at some point, whether you do it on your own to get started, which most of us do, or you had a professional like a messaging person or copywriter do your messaging for you. You should have this stuff somewhere. I do have mine in one document. If you ever did a messaging VIP day with me, you would have your brand messaging in one place. If you're typing it yourself in here, you would just press shift and return, and it makes a new line without messing up this cute little thing, and then you would just type in here. So it's very, very nice. I can see my comments. Let me see what else people are saying. Yep, I can see comments. So if you guys want to ask questions along the way, you can definitely let me know. Drop your questions along the way. Great question. Yeah, I can see comments. I'm looking at them on my iPad. I have a whole setup here. Y'all would laugh. Okay, so I have that piece. I got my vision. Now I'm going to add my mission statement. And if you're using the dashboard, I put little explanations of what these things should be in case you haven't heard of this part of messaging. Like if you've never done messaging with an expert before, this is the type of stuff that you need. So if you were in here, it would say vision statement, and it tells you what you should be answering. Where do you see your business or endeavor in the future, and what impact or change do you aspire to achieve? So for example, mine says, in the next 5 to 10 years, I envision her marketing coach illuminating the world stage as a beacon for the dreamers and doers alike, combining my 17 years of marketing expertise with a deep-rooted understanding of verbal, written, and visual communication. I aspire to be the bridge that transforms aspirations into iconic brands. Beyond the boundaries of conventional coaching, I see myself on international stages and on bookshelves, sharing wisdom and expanding horizons. I'm committed to sharing my insights on crafting brands that not only align with one's envisioned lifestyle, but also radiate their brilliance. As a testament to working moms everywhere, I will demonstrate that it's possible to curate a business tailored to the life you cherish, ensuring no aspiration is left behind nor success compromised. I have a very detailed statement because I clearly do messaging for other people. So this is like my whole being. Let me check the chat here. I'm liking your Notion setup. Thank you so much. It sent me here. I just had to copy the link when you sent it. Okay, sorry. I'm glad you made it here. Is that area linked because of the highlight? Is what area linked? Oh, yes. So someone's asking in the chat inside of Zoom, these things that show up red, is asking if it's linked. Yes, and if you want to see where it's linked in the brand guide section. So if I were to go to the brand guide, all of my stuff transfers along with the additional things that would be on that new page. I'm telling y'all, when I made this dashboard, I made sure that this was legit so that you could find, like if you had a team member, a VA, a marketing assistant, a social media manager, they could literally come to this one resource and they would know everything. And if they happen to come to this page first, they were looking for your logos or your colors, they could see that here, but they would also have your messaging, which is likely something that they would need at the same exact time. And I didn't want you to have to do this stuff over and over again. I didn't want you to have to repeat yourself or type it up or copy and paste it in multiple places. So yes, these things are linked when they show up in that red. Okay. So now brand, I got my mission, my vision, brand voice. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do all the things that's on this side. Let's see what I want to include here. Positioning statement. So I'm going to drop my positioning statement in here. Okay. And as you can see, these things are pretty easy. I'm literally just putting the things that I have in my brand messaging in this thing. So it's asking for brand voice. I'm going to go to my brand voice section. I'm going to put my brand voice. Here are my things for my brand voice. I'm just copying from my document and pasting it in here. So things happen when you're in here. So like I pasted it and it didn't keep the bullets. If I were to click on these 6 dots, it gives me options. I want to turn this into a bulleted list. It's very easy to use Notion. And if you haven't used it, inside of this dashboard, there's the quick link that says navigating the dashboard. And I have linked to Notion's playlist of how to use things and also how to do specific things within the dashboard. So I promise that if you haven't used this system, don't be intimidated by it. I did my best to give you directions. And by purchasing the dashboard, I'm going to invite anyone who purchased it to a whole training where it's official. You'll have your dashboard in hand and we can do stuff together. We can talk through it. Right now, I'm just showing you guys a little sneak peek because I literally need to set my system up right now. And when I'm teaching and doing the live like masterclass, I don't want to also be worried about setting mine up. I want to worry about helping people. Will this live be saved? Yes, it'll be saved. And the Zoom will be saved as well. So I will be putting this like on Loom or something for you guys to just go back and watch the replay, or it's going to go on my YouTube. Okay, so then my brand values is next. I'm going to put my brand values. It's asking for one value at a time. I'm not going to do all my brand values. I don't want you guys to have to sit while I do this whole thing, but you'll see how I'm putting all of my stuff in here. It also is going to really show you that you have probably a lot of things that you don't know about your business that you haven't really documented yet. This will start to illuminate where you're having some issues with, coming up with content or explaining yourself to others. You probably don't have clarity on one big part of like your brand's messaging or how you should be talking to people, because it's very easy for me to come in here and fill out all these sections because I do this work. I do this for myself. I help other people with it, but I also know it's just a requirement for business to be able to articulate yourself. So far I've been able to put 3 of these, but I need another one because I have 2 more. And I don't know how to, maybe you don't know how to use Notion to get it to look exactly like this. I'm just going to come over here to this little 3 dots and I'm going to duplicate it. And now I have another one and I need just one more. I'm going to duplicate that one. And now I'm going to go and edit those. So I'm editing these to put my stuff in here. I won't be teaching you how to do your own brand messaging because I do believe you need to leave this up to someone who really understands how to do it in a way that is going to help your business grow. But I also encourage you to take a stab at it in the beginning. If you can't afford to have someone do it, you need to understand your brand's message. It's why I gave you guys little prompts so that you could at least start to, at least answer some questions and see if you could answer questions like, why does your business exist? Like if someone asked you that right now, what would you say to them? And if you can't answer that right now, you need to start thinking of your answers because that's the beginning of your messaging. And even if you hire someone to do this for you, they're still going to ask. You be going through the steps on the side to get an overview? Absolutely. Thank you for asking that, Leah. I will make sure that I walk everybody through some more of the sections. I only showed one really quick, like a few, but I'm going to show you guys every single one right now, especially if you guys are thinking about buying it and you're like, let me see all of it. I promise I will show. Let me do this one last little section and then we will go through it. Let me see what I want to add in here. Okay, actually, I think I'm good. You guys see it. I'm going to put this last little brand story at the bottom and then I'm done. So I have in my messaging document, by the way, if you ever do a messaging VIP day with me, I give you all of this stuff. You guys are probably looking like this is a lot of stuff. Don't worry, I actually give this to people. All right. And I have my brand story. So now this whole section is done. And if I were to go to where it's linked in my brand guide, look, it's all here as well. So again, this is why I have these things connected. So someone asked to see everything. So let's go through how everything looks in here. So to the left, there's a place that you can always get to navigate the whole dashboard. Anytime you see these little carrots, it's something in there. I just didn't want it to be overwhelming with the infinite scroll. So I'm literally hiding things so that you can see them as needed. But I didn't want you to come in here and there's like a million things to see. So yeah. Inside here, though, it gives you little screenshots and it tells you important things to note about using the system and how to edit things and show things and hide things as you choose. But you can also quickly get back to the dashboard by just clicking on the quick link. To the left as well. So how you see these sections here in the middle, they're also organized that way to the left. So let's go from section to section. So in the content section, we have content planning, content management, social media management, and ads. I'm going to show you guys each one. So first is the content planning. There's a section for your marketing campaigns. This would also constitute for like launches because those are campaigns. So I just put stuff in here for people to have something to look at. So a webinar might be a campaign that you're doing, or you might be launching your offer. So if I were to open this up, inside here, you would be able to connect it to ads if you have paid ads for it, campaign objectives. If you have campaign objectives, like you might have an objective that's like to get 100 people to attend your webinar live, that would be a campaign objective. Ads, you can link and see all the ads that you put in here. Content, any content that you've attributed to this particular campaign will be able to show here. Then you can easily go back and collect data on how that content performed. Products and services that you plan to sell during this campaign will be in here. You can relate it to other campaigns. This is very important these are also some of the objectives, like the key things that you're going to be tracking as you go through your objectives. They'll all roll up and be in here. So all that stuff goes up here for any of your campaigns, and your campaign objectives will be able to be shown here for your particular campaign. So it's pretty cool when you dive into, like, it's literally like infinitely, you can click on things and see more. So on this particular campaign, content planning, there's your campaigns, your content ideas. I usually have ideas on like sticky notes, on phone notes on my iPhone, all kinds of places. I wanted to put a place where you could put your content ideas that you may not be ready to do right now. There's also different views. You can see things that you have ideas for, that you might have been drafting out scripts for, or maybe you scheduled it so you actually used it. Things that you might want to repurpose, you can select and turn something that you've already posted into something that you would like to repurpose. And you can see whether or not you repurpose these things. These things would have been repurposed. These things haven't been repurposed yet. So that's what this section is for. Down here is a place to put your content pillars. I'm going to fill this section in actually on mine. I have my content pillars, but this is a place to put all your content pillars. I think that there should be like 3 major content pillars, and then you have subcategories of things you cover within them. But sometimes people have even more than this. I just think it's getting out of hand because it's really hard to, organize your content if you have a billion content pillars. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer here. All right. This next section is for your marketing funnel. So all of your stages for your target audience, the awareness stage, consideration stage, decision stage, transformation stage, advocacy stage, all of those things. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I was on a standing board. I moved it. All of those things are in this section. So I like that you can see the funnel, because as you're creating content, you should understand the buyer's journey for your people, and you should have access to it really quickly. I find that a lot of people struggle to answer my questions if I'm asking them about these stages. So as you think through these, having one place where it's documented is going to make your life so much easier. Content creation. Inside this content creation, this is one of my favorite things. I'm actually going to bring the camera to a much better location. I want you guys to see this. So in this content creation, no matter which platform you're creating content for, I made templates for all these. So I'm opening this one here. And if you guys can see, there are templates for all of the major types of content that you would create. So if I said, oh, I'm making a new YouTube video, it's going to bring up a template that has everything that you need for your YouTube video. your keywords, your video title, your thumbnail title, your description, all the things that you need is all in here. B-roll, if you really care about editing your doggone YouTube videos, your checklist, like maybe you work with your team. I kept some of my old stuff in here so you guys can see who you're delegating tasks to, you know, all of those things. There's a place for you to put your Pinterest pins and your blog posts for your YouTube. This is where you repurpose. You can have your email blast written. All of that stuff is in here, and all of them exist like this. Every single type of content that you say you want to post, there is a template for every single one of them. I didn't want you guys to think this is just like Instagram or Facebook. Like, it's all of them. What are you doing? Are you making a long form video, short form video? Where is it going? Here's a template for it. So that's how that looks. Okay. Hashtag bank. There's a place for that. It can be connected to your content topic or your content pillars. You can also connect it back to the particular platforms that you want to use those hashtags for. All of that stuff is down here in this section. To the left here is a posting time. So if you have certain days and times that you like to post your content on your particular marketing channels, then guess what? There's a place for you to say that and put the times. Isn't that pretty cool? I'm like so proud of this damn thing. What else is in here? So that's content planning. This is content management, all your platforms in one place, all of your to-dos. This is another linked place because obviously this will be on the score sheet because it's going to go by the percent checked. It's going to tell you whether or not you're actually doing well. You have a scorecard, and then your analytics goes over here. Your best performing content, you're going to start marking things as best performing, and you're going to be able to go back and say, oh, this thing performed really well. Let me repeat this later on. Let me repeat this during the holidays when I don't feel like making new content. Your content calendar goes down here, and you'll be able to see all of your content, and you can actually kind of tell what they are. Like, this is obviously a Pinterest pin because I have this little thing. This is a newsletter. These are like long form videos. This is like a carousel or like a graphic post. This is YouTube video. So it's pretty cute. Okay. Social media management. This is where you would manage your social platforms. Obviously, you can look at your platform stats here. Your content at a glance, you can see all the content that you said you were supposed to be doing something with. And the filter is on for just your social media channels. You can also add filters to only show your content for like the current week or whatever you want to do. And then again, that to-do list is here, content calendar, all those things are in the same space. Okay, and then y'all know I don't really do a lot of ads, but that is a part of marketing. So I made sure there was a place for you to see your ads. Ads are categorized by what you're trying to do with them, whether it's awareness, conversion, or lead generation. And then you can plan out your ads and what platform you plan on putting the ads on, the promo period for the ads, the ad budget, the gross revenue that you've gotten from, having the ads out there, your actual profit, because obviously those things are different. And then it relates back to your marketing campaign. So this is really, really, really laid out for you to be able to literally manage every aspect of this in one place. Okay, so next section is about strategy. So there's a place for your marketing and sales strategy. There's a place for you to put your goals. I also gave examples of the type of goals you should have in here, up here. Your products and services. So your product name, product type, price, all that stuff needs to go in there, as well as what campaigns you're running for that particular offer. All your OKRs, so your objectives and your objective key results will be tracked down here. I'll also explain what those things are in case you never heard of those things before. Buyer persona. This is actually what I would need to work on today. I'm really not going to spend a lot of time doing this here because I feel like, oh, y'all are going to be like here forever. I don't want y'all to be on this live for 8 hours. But I'll do this in a separate post. But yeah, here's a place to put all your audience persona, all the things that are like above the surface. Like, people usually do surface level things like demographics, characteristics, but also there's some below the surface stuff that you need to be able to answer. So that's all in here. Yeah, and then you can put pictures. Usually I like to think of a client who fits one of these profiles. So I have a visual. These are not actual people. I've got these cute little images for now, but this is where you would want to put someone that represents, your target audience and your buyer persona. Again, strategy-wise, here's a place for you to track all your campaigns in one place. Market research. You do your own SWOT analysis. I know y'all are like, oh, hate doing these. your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. You should know these things about your business. You really should do this as a self-reflection. I actually only do this once a year when I'm doing my annual planning. I do all of the boring but necessary things that I need to understand about myself. So I would put that type of stuff in here. Competitor analysis. I know that y'all don't think you need to look at your competitors, but you should, and you should know their strengths, their weaknesses. You should be able to quickly go and look at their accounts. You should know what products and services they typically have that are relevant to what you're offering. What's their price range? Look at their website. You should be able to tell a lot about your competitors. Yes, you should do this stuff. Again, maybe once a quarter, you might want to check in and see what's going on. See if any new competitors are popping up. If I go and I type in certain keywords that I believe I should be top for, number one for, and my competitors are showing up, they're doing something better than me. And it probably has a lot to do with SEO and their keywords. And I'm not doing a great job of those things. But if I were using this resource like I should be, I should have in my brand messaging like what my keywords are, and I should be making sure those things are showing so that I show higher or more often than my competitors. Okay, so that's that stuff. Let's see here. Next section is on analytics. There's a place for you to look at your monthly analytics based on the marketing channel, just social media analytics, just podcast analytics, just blog analytics, and just email analytics. I separate them by channels so that you have them in groups, but you can see them all at the same time if you want. So that's one thing. Quarterly analytics as well. So this is broken down by the quarter, so you can kind of get a glance at everything for the quarter. And then annual, you can get a view of this annually and have these things tracked. Okay, next section is on the brand. So there's a place for you to put your brand guide. As I said, if you filled out your messaging, it'll translate and move here. If you started here, it would be on the other page as well. Down here is a place for your brand colors, your logos, your fonts. So I just put some examples. This is my own stuff, but I just put it in here. And then your brand assets. So you would link back to like your Instagram reel covers, your YouTube thumbnails, your email, like whatever brand assets. I typically have all of this stuff inside of my Canva. So there's a link to the assets or file links. There's places for you to do both. Mine would all be links to my Canva. So you would want to link to all that stuff in here. Okay, next is brand assets just by themselves. So that's just these two things. Brand messaging, you guys saw me doing this earlier. So your brand messaging would go in here. Social proof, there's a place for you to put the client's name, what product or service they purchased from you, quote, or their testimonial here. Client use case, whatever problems you say you solve, you should attribute this testimonial back to one of the very clear problems that you solve. So when someone says they're having a particular problem, or you're talking to a particular part or subset of your target audience in your content, you can attribute these testimonials very easily and go and choose them right away and say, oh, this is who my people are I'm targeting right now. This is the testimonial related back to this problem. I'll post this during the time of my launch. You could have the media. So whatever images or screenshots or whatever link to any video where you're posting it and what year you got that feedback. So that's it for, oh, and then a media kit. So a lot of my people want to be speakers, want to be brands, they are speakers, they're authors, they're media personalities. Because of this, you should have a place where you have everything that you need for your media kit. So your speaker information, your contact info, your bio. You will be asked on different occasions for different lengths of bio. Some of them will say, give me your short bio. It should be about 50 words. I have been asked for a medium bio, so that's about 100 words. I have been asked for a long bio. I keep that at about 150 words. There's a place for you to put all three types. Your approved headshot so that your team, if they're submitting on your behalf like an assistant, they can easily go and grab the approved headshots and download a copy. Where you've been featured in the media, so the publication and like all those type of things would go in here. And then the topics and different lead magnets that you give away based on the topic that you're talking on. Goals, you have a place for your annual goals, a place to put your vision board. I do my vision boards digitally. I also have an in-person, like a live vision board. So I would just take a picture of it just so I can see it and put it on here. And then of course, there's a place for your quarterly goals. And you would just put them in here. And then there's a place for you to do your monthly goals as well, as you can see. So everything is really laid out. I even have you rating your life and how you felt, like different areas of your life. I think people like they go through like the months, but they forget about themselves. So I took account for that type of stuff. All right, let's go back. There's a place for growth goals. So this would be like social media and like your accounts. So the marketing channel, what category it fits in, all the categories are in here for the different marketing channels. And then what your milestones that you hope to achieve and whether or not you achieve them. As you achieve them, you would just mark them off. That's growth goals. Your weekly scorecard is just based on those to-dos that you're saying you have to do, and you'll be able to see your percent checked. SOPs, there's a place for you to put your SOPs and your different workflows based on the SOP, and you can link them back to the SOPs here and link these back to the workflows very easily. So again, your team knows what to do. And your task list. And this is broken up by weekly tasks, top priorities, this week, upcoming, and things that you've completed. This will be an archive of everything that you've completed. That is the tour. I am going to turn my camera back to me and see on Instagram and see what questions are coming up for you guys. And you guys inside, I'm gonna stop my share for just a second in the Zoom. Are questions coming up for you guys on Instagram or in the Zoom? You can ask. As you guys do that, I am taking you guys off this. I have like a tripod that you're on right now. Questions. I didn't see any as I was going because you probably were looking. What questions are coming up for y'all? Any questions? Will you do individual section tours, tutorials in the membership? Yes. In the membership, you guys will get a whole database of me recording and going through what I'm doing. I'll show you guys mine as it's done, and then I'll talk through it. And then that session that I'm inviting everyone to who purchases it now through the end of the month, that session will be going through those sections and kind of talking through it as well, but like high level and answering people's questions, like about using the dashboard and different things. But in the membership, it will be very detailed because even if you're not using the dashboard, you would want to have all of these things done inside of your business. And this is a part of some core information that I want to put inside the membership is about marketing strategy. That's a good question. You're welcome, Ev. What questions? Any questions from Instagram? Any questions in here? Let me make sure no one asked any other questions. I was trying to answer them live. So personally, you know, when I create, I'm overwhelmed. Not you being overwhelmed. Why are you overwhelmed? Is it overwhelming because you feel like you're missing some of these things and you didn't realize it? Is it overwhelming because it's too much stuff in there? I'm curious. Y'all, I'm getting some comments from the Zoom. Do y'all have any questions on Instagram? While she's typing up, I'm curious about why she's overwhelmed. You know, I really made this thing because I have my information for all of the marketing things that I do in a lot of different places. I have Airtable, I have Google Docs. It's so thorough. I wanted it to be thorough. I wanted you to legitimately be able to manage every aspect of your marketing in one place and to possibly be able to share it with a team member. Like as you start to hire people, like I've had social media managers working with me or Pinterest people. I've had someone do email. I've had someone repurposing content. I've worked with every corner of a marketing team member. And when I tell you, they're going to ask you these questions, they're going to ask for links, they're going to ask you to give them access to something. But then, you know, if it just becomes a thing that you're constantly having to participate in. And I really wanted to have a place where I didn't have to constantly participate in what was going on. If I hired someone, I wanted them to be able to do their job and help me without me having to talk to them all the time. Yes, we'll have a monthly meeting or a weekly meeting, but I didn't want to have to be involved in the day-to-day. And when I hired my first social media, I'm going to answer whatever's in here. When I hired my first social media manager, it was back in 2020. It was the end of 2020. And I can tell you, first of all, and I tell you guys this all the time in my content, do not hire those people too soon. But of course, I made that mistake because I didn't want to manage my social media anymore. So I hired someone way too soon. And she always had so many questions for me that I thought was pretty clear, but it really wasn't. And she had nowhere that she could go to easily get the answers. So I literally had to talk to her all the time. I had a Pinterest team, and we actually had proper meetings and had a proper setup. And do you know they were messing up things? They were using the wrong links. And I'm like, well, how were they using the wrong links? Are they going to try to find them on their own? If I had a place, one central location for them to just go, maybe I could have prevented some of these careless mistakes that they were making. Because I'm like, how the hell did you get the wrong link to the wrong product for my Pinterest pin? But I didn't necessarily send that. Maybe I sent it to them in an email. If they had one place to go, I probably could have helped them to do a better job. Not that you want to have to help experts to do their job better, but sometimes people are people, right? They're human. So if you can make it so that people can find what they need quickly, then you don't have to do all this stuff on your own. Let me see what you guys are saying. No, I have 90% of the things, but seeing it all together shows me why I'm exhausted and want to burn my business to the ground every other week. I am dead. Check the doc. Exactly. People don't be checking these documents though. And this is going to show me the gaps for my own marketing. I think that the biggest thing that this dashboard is really going to show you is gaps, right? Because you might, like, even when I was going through the dashboard myself, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't finish doing my positioning statement, or I forgot to finish doing my keywords. Like, I'm already seeing my own gaps, and I might have some of that stuff somewhere, but I have to go and find it. And the issue is going to find it. I probably have some hashtag groups, but guess where those hashtag groups are? Planoly, or whatever I was using at the time, later. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of this stuff, but it's in so many different places that on a day or a week where I am too busy, I am not going to go to those resources. It's just not going to be, I'm not going to have the information. I'm not going to do the work because it's inconvenient. And sometimes being busy, like how all of us are, we need convenience. So when I made this dashboard, I made sure that it was convenient. Do y'all need to see anything else? Any questions? If you want the dashboard, still just DM the word CMO, and my, my little automation will send you the link so you can get the dashboard. I am going to be hosting a live event going through like marketing strategy and how to complete the dashboard, like in depth, like in a nicer way, answering people's questions and just talking about marketing strategy on a high level. And you see how I have to look in a notebook right now, because guess who wrote down the dates in a notebook? And I don't remember what the dates are. And it's because it's in a notebook. So in one of my 20 notebooks, I am doing the dashboard one on August the 24th. It's a Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be going through the marketing dashboard in an easier way, and mine will all be complete so that I'm not wasting time showing people, but I'm really going through the dashboard and showing people how to leverage it, going through the process, like the order of operations of how I would set my dashboard up. Because I think one of the most overwhelming things, kind of to Evelyn's point, is setting something up like this, because that's the annoying part. But once it's set up, you don't have to do it again, but it's the setup part. Okay, so nobody on Instagram has any questions about anything. Do you guys have any more questions in Zoom before I go? I think I showed you guys a good portion of like how the dashboard looks. You get a really good feel. You get to see if like, did you need it? Is it something that you could use for your business? You understand why I made it, how I plan to leverage it for my business. So I'm going to spend my time doing the setup. I'm going to do a lot of it today and tomorrow and like all of this week, because then next week I expect to be able to leverage it for the actual task. So planning my campaign, I'm going to be doing my book. I need to plan out my stuff for my book. I'm excited for the tutorials and the membership because I need the slow version. Yeah, this is too fast. I really just wanted to show Zoom replay. Yes, the big video version, not the Instagram version. I will post it, and everyone who's on my email list, or who, if you just DM me, say, can I have the Zoom link? I will make sure there's an automation. Don't send it now. Actually, go ahead and send it out if you want it. If you just want the Zoom link, just let me know in a DM if you're not on my email list. And then this way I can send it to everybody. And then I'll have an automation so that everybody who wants it later can ask for it too. If you already have, okay, so the question is, if you already have Notion boards, I see some gaps. So we'll want to easily integrate it, pull up existing, or have it stand alone. It will mess up the whole thing up to bring it up with the other boards. So Cheryl, and you might have missed it, maybe you weren't on at the beginning. At the beginning, I showed how I wanted to drag this marketing dashboard into a business dashboard that I already have. So all I did was make a copy of this dashboard. And when you buy it, you are told to duplicate a copy. I duplicated the copy, it put it inside of my Notion. I just dragged the whole thing where I wanted to drop it. Anytime you add something that's an entire page, or in this case, an entire dashboard into Notion, it drops it as a direct link to that page or to that resource at the very bottom of everything. It doesn't interfere with what exists. And then you would drag that page to where it needs to go. So I show that in this video, but it's very simple. If you have something that you want to add to like an existing Notion, in my case, I have an existing Notion. I actually have a huge business operating dashboard that I use in Notion. And there's a section called marketing that all this stuff from this dashboard is going to replace all of my marketing stuff. So that's what I ended up dropping it into that section so I can use it and see this on top of the other things. Same thing with the 12-week year. I created the 12-week year resource for I created it for myself originally, and I also created it for other people before I put it in the shop. And I needed it inside of my new business dashboard. I didn't want to have to create it again or fill in everything in again. So I just dragged it into my existing dashboard and it works just fine. So yeah, you're welcome. That's a good question. Any other questions coming up? Y'all good? Okay, I'm gonna get off of the Instagram. I'll stay on the Zoom for a second and see if y'all need to see anything. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Okay, I'm off of the Instagram live. Y'all ain't got no questions for real? I'm talking to y'all like, hey, friends.
Listen, I don't know what questions I have. I just know I'm about to clean out this Google Drive and fit everything I have somewhere.
I need to do that for mine. I mean, y'all see my Google Drive. I show y'all my Google Drive. Mine is really organized, but I still have to go to the Google Drive and figure out which subsection and which subfolder. I will never do that again. I'm going to have that stuff so organized into this damn dashboard. I was not kidding when I said I was waiting for myself to complete it so that I can make a copy. So I really need it.
Yeah, no, this is good.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad that you were able to kind of see it. Evelyn, to your point, I do understand that it's going to be more helpful for you to be able to see the setup, but like slowly and in sections. Yeah. I won't do it like, let's look at the whole dashboard. It's going to be like, here is this. It's going to be a little mini database. I'm not going to overwhelm you. It's not going to feel like a course because I've already been threatened and told that I do too much. So it will be short.
I mean, because I was going to say, if you had like a implementation guide, timeline, whatever, I would pay extra.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean an implementation guide?
So I'll give you an example. So I took a course early this year from a previous coach about thought leadership, right? Mm-hmm. And she, similar to what you were saying, she was like, you've got notebooks everywhere. You've got files on your computer, Google Drive, this, that, whatever. And she recommended like, here's a 30-day plan to go search all your crap to get your thought leadership together, right?
Okay.
So that's great to get my thought leadership because she was like, your ideas all over the place. If I had like a structured, like, here's how to take all your crap, I really want to say something else, and start populating this dashboard, I would pay more for that.
I'll just give it to the members. I can see that being something I give to you guys and the people who bought it. I could see that being something I deliver. Yeah.
Listen, don't be out here doing the most for free now. Get your coins, okay? You know how I feel about making money. Make the money.
I know. Look, I got to consult with the coach, but I just, if nothing else for the members, and then maybe somebody else could get like the fancy version where it does explain like the things. But if it's related to the product, I feel like just give it to people customer service wise. Yeah. And I didn't think about that. You know, I was mostly so focused on getting it out. And I knew, I'll host a live event, but I didn't think about like people probably have stuff like me everywhere. And it is going to be overwhelming to tackle it. And sometimes you see a resource like this with everything in one place and you feel like you have to do all of it right now. And that's not realistic. Like, I feel like it's going to take me a good month to get everything where I want. But then I'm thinking, after this 1 month, I am good to go. And I will never have to do the setup piece again.
Yeah. And it's going to make hiring a lot easier for people too. Like you were talking about earlier. If I had this when I had the 2 marketing people last year, way different.
I had like 4 different marketing people, and it would have been so much more helpful. When I was making it, I was thinking about the trouble that I had. I had a Pinterest person, an email person, a content repurposing person, and I feel like one other type of person. And I was like, all of them are getting on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
All of them asking me questions that I thought I already answered, and I had no way to verify that I really answered it. And you can make an SOP and all that stuff, but one place where they can visually see things and get to it, I can see what's going on, I think would have been just more helpful. And maybe I could have kept all the people or wouldn't have hated it so much, but it just was such a bad experience because I felt like I was still participating so much. I'm like, I'll just do it myself then. I'm quick to do something myself if you're in the way. But yeah, for the members, I want to specifically talk about marketing strategy. This won't be something that's public. It'll just be in the membership. I've been going through and thinking about what I want to be, like some of the core things that I read that you should have in a membership. And if I thought of core like curriculum, it won't be something long, but I need you guys to, at the basic level, understand a big part of just marketing strategy and how you're approaching the things that you're doing for marketing. So that's something I'm going to be adding in there. Any other last minute questions? This was fun. I'm glad you guys got to see the inside, and some of you already have it. So a self-audit. Yes. Yeah, we need to be doing an audit. That's the type of stuff we're going to do live. So during that little session, we're going to go through like, these are the things that you would need. So it'll be like a checklist. I'll give everybody like a little checklist. It won't be the detailed thing that you were talking about, like the roadmap or anything, but it will be like, here is the stuff that you should actually have that you would need to be able to fill out in this resource to really get the best use out of it. Anything else? You're welcome.
Letitia, maybe you can recheck the link. Hi. You can recheck the link that you sent. Hi. That you sent on email, because it leads to the dashboard itself. The last one, the join me on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was that on purpose?
No.
Or maybe I missed the beginning. Yeah. So just check that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Don't know why I would have done that. That sucks. Oh, wow. I don't think there's any way for me to return it, you know? That sucks. That's what somebody was trying to tell me earlier. Oops. Okay, see you guys later.